Hi everyone, welcome back. If you saw my last video, I hope that was helpful. This is obviously video number 2. In the last video you learned all about trade discounts, and in that video some highlights again that should be familiar to you now would be that there are types of trade discounts. There's single trade discounts and there's chain trade discounts, so you should know about them. Also in the first video you should be familiar again with FOB shipping point and FOB destination. FOB shipping point means that the buyer pays all the shipping. FOB destination means the seller pays all of the shipping. So those are some highlights from video number 1. Again, chapter 7 is a tough chapter. I learned this from my online class. So there's a lot of information in chapter 7, so I hope these videos are helpful. The second part of this video is all about cash discounts, credit periods, discount periods will be discussed. So just want to again encourage you, if you haven't already, open up Blackboard, go to the Chapter 7 in Blackboard. I just pulled it up here for you to see. I'm in the Chapter 7 folder. I'm going to be using the PowerPoint again. I used it in video 1. I'm going to pick up where I left off. So if you haven't got that available to you, print it off or have it in front of you as we go through some things in this part of the chapter. Also, again, I'm just going to draw your attention to some helpful handouts that are posted on Blackboard. The exact days in a year calendar, I'm going to talk about that first. Very, very helpful in figuring a lot of credit periods and discount periods. It looks something like this. I'm going to be using that. Mine is not in color, so mine will be grayed out instead of yellowed. And the other one that I wanted you to make sure you saw are the Terms of Trade Review handout. This is just kind of my summary. If you didn't understand Terms of Trade, this is a one-shot look at all of the Terms of Trade that I'm going to talk about here in a second. So make sure you look at that document too. It looks something like that. All right, so I will be referring to those documents as we go through. All right, so let's pick up. I'm going to talk about, again, more discounts in Chapter 7, but this time the discounts are cash discounts. So the main thing you need to remember with regard to cash discounts, they're still a discount, but they're for a different purpose. When we talked about the trade discounts in the last video, we said that trade discounts were to encourage loyalty among your customers, continued loyalty, continued purchase of your products. So again, trade discounts. Cash discounts really affects cash flow, and that's why they're called cash discounts. So if we're talking about a cash discount, we're saying what we really are hoping our customers do is pay their bills promptly. So we give cash discounts to encourage prompt payment of bills. And again, as an entrepreneur, you also are going to be having bills coming into your business. So it's good if you've got bills going out to your customers for you to get their payments back promptly so that you can turn around and make your payments to your suppliers promptly. So once again, the whole purpose of a cash discount is to encourage prompt payment. So let's talk about some cash discounts here, and I'm going to go back again to the PowerPoint. So the first thing that you need to understand that we're dealing with a cash discount, and the purpose is to make sure your customers pay their bill and give them an incentive. You're going to give them a discount to pay their bill before it's due. A couple things to remember before I get started with this is, remember, discounts never apply to anything other than list. So discounts do not apply to freight. They do not apply to any goods that are returned. They do not apply to sales tax, and they do not apply to other trade discounts. So again, that's one thing to think about. All right, so the next thing I want to do before we get into this, we're going to be figuring out the credit period and the discount period on different invoices. The credit period, here's an invoice right here. The invoice came out March 1st, and your invoice or payment is due on March 31st. This entire period here refers to the credit period. your supplier is providing you with this much time to use his money basically and to wait for payment. The discount period, again, is if you give a cash discount, you're going to give a discount for early payment. The discount period tells you how many days the discount period is good for. So in other words, if you have a discount period of 10 days, you're allowing your customers to pay their bill within the first 10 days and maybe get a 2% discount. So this refers to the only period of time in which a customer can take advantage of a cash discount. Okay? So I just want to make sure on all of these, keep in mind we're going to be talking about two periods, the credit period and the discount period. All right, I'm going to kind of stop right there, and I want to go to this exact days in a year calendar. Do you like my happy face there? I'll get rid of that. The exact years and exact days in a year calendar. It's very helpful. All right, so get a calculator handy here. All right, so I'm just going to play around with this calendar here, and I'll show you how this works. You'll use it for a lot of chapters. So this is how it works. Let's just say you have an invoice that comes out on July 28th, right? And let's just say you are going to give them a discount period. I'm making this up, of 15 days. Okay? And let's just say the bill is due 30 days from your invoice, in 30 days. All right? So when you're trying to figure out, oh man, did you get that payment in time for the discount period? I don't know. What day did that payment come through? You can use this exact days in a year calendar to quickly know, was that payment submitted within the discount period? Was it submitted within the 15 days? Or was it submitted within the 30 days? So here's how this exact days in the year calendar works. All right, every day of the year has a number. So my bill came out the July 28th, which is a really good day for me because that's my birthday. All right, so July 28th is day 209. How did I find that? Well, I looked at the months, days of the month rather, and I says, here's July 28th. Oh, I'll get my finger on there. There's July 28th right there. And I want to go clear over to July. So it looks like July 28th is day 209. All right, that's when the invoice came out, July 28th, day 209. So day 209 is July 28th. Let me get that on there. That's day 209. All right? And then we're going to give them a 15-day period in which they could maybe get a discount if they paid their bill sooner. So if you take day 209 and you add 15 to that, what do you get? $224. Oh, okay. So day 224 is the end of the discount period. All right. Day 204, if we look on here, 224 rather, day 224 looks to be this number right here. So that is August 12th. Day 204 is August 12th on my exact days in the year calendar. So that's August 12th. All right, the other thing is the credit period is 30 days from July 28th. So if you add 30 days to July 28th, I know July 28th is 209. If you add 30 to that, that will give you day 239. What day is that? When is this bill due? Again, I'm zooming in here on day 239. That looks to be August 27th. So the credit period ends August 27th. Does that make sense? Okay. So again, using the exact days in your calendar, we're always going to be calculating, again, the discount period, so many days from the invoice date, and then the credit period when the day is due. The exact days in the year calendar can give us exact dates for those periods of time. All right? Okay, so I'm going to go back to the PowerPoint here and kind of pick up where we left off. So once again, we've got this invoice with a March 1 date. And how about we use our exact days in the year calendar on this, okay? Let's do it one more time. March 1, what day is March 1? The bill comes out on March 1. It looks like March 1 is day 60. All right, so my bill comes out on the 60th day. It's due March 31. March 31 is day 90 right here. That's day 90. So once again, I have a 30-day credit period. The discount is going to be available to your customers, the cash discount rather, through March 10th. My discount period, this is an easy one, is actually going to end on day 69. So that's March 10th, that's day 69. 60, so we've got about a 10-day period there. All right, so again, those are some numbers for our discount period. All right, I've already marked up this one a little bit in the previous video. I restarted, so that's why I have some numbers here. So let's talk about some different types of cash discount. The first type of cash discount that we'll cover here is called ordinary dating. It's the simplest one. It's probably the most common one. So maybe you get a bill, from the hospital or something, and the hospital bill might have this attached to it. It reads 210 net 30. The meaning of this ordinary dating discount means that you get a 2% discount if you pay your bill within the first 10 days. So the first 10 days represents the discount period. If you don't pay any of your bill within the first 10 days, you have to pay the entire amount of your invoice by 30 days of receipt of this invoice. So the credit period is 30 days. Okay, so again, the bill came out on July 5th. The terms of trade are 210 net 30, and you make a payment on July 11th. Well, if you're looking at the discount period and you've got an invoice that comes out at the beginning of the month, that's pretty easy to figure. The invoice comes out on the 5th. The discount period will be 10 days later, hence 210, or July 15th, so this represents the discount period. And they make a payment on July 11th, so they sneaked it in right before the 15th. So this person is going to be able to take advantage of a 2% discount. Again, if they miss this first discount period, they have to pay the full amount, $400, before August 4th. Remember, how did you get August 4th? You can figure out whatever day July 5th is and add 30 days to it, and that will get you to August 4th on your calendar, on your exact days of the year calendar. All right, so a couple other things. They get a 2% discount. Now, if you watch the first video, you know that you don't have to do a lot of subtraction steps. You can use complements. So 2% discount is the same as paying 98% of your bill. So instead of taking 400 times 2% to get 8 and do a subtraction step, which you could do, by the way, and know your bill is going to be $392, the quickest way is knowing that they get a 2% discount. So just take 1 minus the 2%. You're going to get your complement here of 0.98 times your list. Again, you still owe $392. So you're basically saving $8 by paying your bill off early. Now again, if some of these bills are quite large, that 2% can, of course, be a substantial amount of money. All right, so we've got the discount period, we've got the credit period, we've got the cash discount, and again, ordinary dating, 210, net 30. This could easily be 310, 215, net 30. It could easily look like that. If this is the case, you basically have two discount periods. You have the first 10 days of the month and you get a 3% discount. If you miss this discount period, you have the next 5 days to get a 2% discount. If you miss this discount period, you still have to pay your bill within 30 days of your invoice date. So again, this could easily be, this is still an example of ordinary dating in a different form. Here's another one that you could see. It could be 5, 10, 3, 15, net 60. Terms of trade, ordinary dating. 5% discount within the first 10 days, you get that. If you miss that discount period, you have 5 more days or the first 15 days of your invoice to get a 3% discount. If you miss that, this is an in, you have to pay your bill and you have an extended credit period. You have a 60-day credit period on this ordinary dating method. All right? So I just wanted to show you some of those things as well. All right, another type of cash discount. This one here, this is similar to ordinary dating, the one I just showed you, but it's receipt of goods. If you see a receipt of goods, first of all, here's what you would see on an invoice. 310, net 30, ROG. That is your cash discount terms of trade. What this means is, again, you get a 3% discount if you make a payment within the first 10 days of your invoice. But since it's an ROG, the invoice date that we use is not the invoice date, but the date you receive the goods. So let me go on and share with you this. You have a $900 invoice. The invoice date is May 9th. This is your invoice date. But you don't get the goods until July 8th. If you have an ROG on here, always use the receipt of goods date of July 8th as your beginning of your credit period and your discount period both. All right? So once again, ROG, you'll have on any problems that you see in Connect or in your book, if it's an ROG, you're going to see two you're going to see two dates. One will be the invoice date and the other one will be an ROG date, the receipt of good dates. Just ignore the invoice date. Your discount period and your credit period both start with the ROG date. So here we go. Notice we started with July 8th as a receipt of good dates. We just ignored the May 8th. So again, based on our terms of trade, we have the first 10 days or until July 18th to make a payment, and if we make a payment within that period of time, we get a 3% discount. If we don't make a payment within that period of time, we have 30 days from the receipt of goods date to make our payment. So 30 days from July 8th is again July 7th. That payment has to be made in full, $900 by this time. Again, on this one here, if we have a receipt of good 310 net 30 ROG, and I think on this one here, let's just assume, can we just play with this again? We did. We made the payment. We made a payment by the 20th, July 20th. All right, they made a payment on July 20th. How'd they do? It doesn't look like they made it in time. They missed the 3% discount. So how much do they owe? They owe the full $900. Let's do one other thing here just to make sure we're clear on this. Let's say that they make a payment on July 15th. All right? Again, that July 15th is within 10 days of the receipt of good dates. They are within the discount period. So they are going to get the 3% discount if this is the case. And once again, the point I wanted to do with this, if they're getting a 3% discount and you have to figure out what they owe, just take your list price of $900, multiply it by the complement of your 3% discount. So multiply that times 0.97. And when you take the 900 times .97, it looks like they only have to pay $873. Excuse me, if that's the case. All right, so I just kind of wanted to show you. Maybe in another story, they did make that payment right about there. Okay, but again, cash discounts, use the compliments. They're much quicker. All right, so that's the second type of terms of trade for cash discount. The third type can be tricky. I kind of like them the most. And here's another terms of trade. It's called EOMs, or end of month. All right, on an EOM, this is what it's going to read on an invoice. It's 110 EOM. The thing that you need to be careful of on an EOM is you always need to look at the invoice date. In this scenario here, the invoice date is July 6th. So this is, again, my invoice date, July 6th. On an EOM, it'll always have the EOM behind it. What you need to look for is your invoice on or before the 25th of the month? If it's on or before the 25th of the month, your discount period will be the remaining part of that month and the first 10 days of the next month. So once again, my invoice came out July 6th. I get all of July and the first 10 days of August to get a 1% discount. Okay? So the discount period ends on an EOM the 10th day of the following month if the invoice is dated on or before the 25th of the month. Okay? So, invoice is dated July 6th. They make a payment on July 10th. The discount is 1%. They got all of July, and the discount period ends on the 10th. They got the 1% discount, with barely. So the amount that they pay on the $600 invoice is $600 times the complement. I'm just going to go straight here, guys. Take the 600 and take the complement of 1%. It's a 0.99, so they're paying 99% of their bill. 600 times 0.99, they are paying $594 on that. If you guys like to subtract, that's fine with me, but it takes longer. Take 600 times 0.01. It's $6. Take a subtraction step, and you're going to get the same thing. But I encourage you again, 1% is not a big deal, but it's much quicker if you can use the complements. So again, EOMs. On EOMs, the discount period will always end on the 10th of the month. Now the question is, which month? If the invoice is dated on or before the 25th, it's going to be the next month. So for example, this is March. Let's say this bill came out, maybe this bill came out on the 15th of March, and it was a 210 EOM. Right? So I'm going to do this. It's a 210 EOM. The bill came out on March 15th. All right, first of all, it's an EOM. I'm going to look, when was the invoice? On or before the 25th? Yes. So my discount period is going to be the next month, which is April 10th. That's the end of my discount period. And on EOMs, there's one other thing to be careful of. The credit period ends 20 days later or April 30th. So the credit period on an EOM is always 20 days after the discount period. And I always have to look, give you another example. This is the other one. Let's just say that we have this bill that comes out. The invoice is June 2nd. And let's say it's a 5/10 EOM. All right, I'm going to zoom in on this. So it's a 5/10 EOM. Just want to make sure you're clear on this. So once again, my discount period I noticed that my bill came out on or before the 25th, so my discount period is going to be the next month, which is July, right? And it's going to be on July 10th. My credit period, once again, will end 30 days later. No, excuse me, 20 days later. I'm trying to make a point. Or July 30th. Now, the reason I did July, and I just kind of messed it up here, 20 days later, is July really has 31 days in it. It's really not the end of the month. It's 20 days from the discount period. So all of those months that have 31 days, it's probably going to end on the 30th. It's always 20 days from the discount period. Be careful with that. That's probably one of the most missed parts of this section. All right? So end of month. All right, here's another one. The next one is this one. It's another EOM, and I've been kind of focusing on this. Another EOM, but here's the story on this one. Once again, if you run across any discounts that are EOMs, make sure that you look for the date of the invoice. Sorry, I'm driving you crazy. I'm going to get this right. Look at the date of the invoice, because we're going to be looking for this 25th day rule. If it's a 210 EOM, your discount periods are going to be probably on the 10th is a discount period, and the credit period will end like on the 30th day. But the question is, which month? If the invoice comes out after the 25th, for example, on this one here, we have an invoice of $800. It's dated April 29th, and it's a 210 EOM. So since the invoice comes out after the 25th, my months change. So my date of the invoice is April 25th. On a 210 EOM dated after the 25th, I get all of the following month, all of May, and then the first 10 days in June. So all of the following month, and then the ends the first 10 days of June. So on this one here, my discount period goes from April 29th all the way to June 10th. And then again, add 20 more days to the discount period. That puts me up to the end of the credit period, which is June 30th. So watch out for, again, the EOMs always look for the invoice date, all right? Again, on this one here, they paid the bill June 18th. The discount period ended June 10th, so no discount was applied. Okay, going to move on. That is it for cash discounts. I'd kind of like to go to your book now and cover a few problems there. And let me see which ones I have marked. I have problem number, I'm on page in your chapter. Let me see. Problem number 9. I don't know. Let's just take a look at. I'm sorry. Let's take a look at problem 9 first. So I'm on page 203, and this is number 9. It looks like we have an invoice date of June 18. And again, the terms of trade that we're going to be dealing with, it looks like it's ordinary dating, 110, comma, net 30. All right. So the question is, we need to figure out the last day of the discount period and the last day of the credit period. I'm going to use my calendar here. I know that 10 days is not hard to add to 18, but I just want to make sure we're using our calendars. So I'm going to look at June 18. And June 18 on my calendar, I'm going to the 18th day, and of June, it's going to be day 169. All right, so that's day 169. The discount period is going to be 10 days later. So that's going to be day 179. And that should be the 28th, right? Oh, good, it is. So if you look at day 179, again, that is day 179, which is, again, June 28th. So that's the end of my discount period, 10 days, June 28th. And then again, you can take 20 more days to get to the end of this. So I want to look at my credit period here. It's, again, it's going to be 30 days from here or 20 more days from here since I've already taken up the first 10. So again, my credit period is going to end on day 199. This is my credit. This is my discount. My credit period is day 199, and day 199 on my calendar, here we go, it's this day right here. It looks like it's going to be July 18. All right, I just kind of wanted to go through that again with you. So again, July 18. So that's how I use my calendar. It saves me a lot of time. I don't have to count on my fingers or toes or knuckles or whatever. All right? So I just wanted to show you that. I also wanted to do number 10. Again, I'm on page 203. So again, number 10 is the other one I wanted to look at. Again, EOMs are kind of sound a little different, but they're kind of easy to use, really. So on number 10, I have my invoice date as November 27th. And the terms of trade that I have on this one is 210 EOM. So once again, on an EOM, I'm gonna know that my discount period is going to end on the 10th day of a month. The question is, which month? Always on an EOM, look at the date of your invoice. If it's after the 25th, the discount period runs the end of November, all of December, and into January. So the discount period on this one is going to be January 10th. Again, it's an EOM dated after the 25th, so I get the last few days of November, all of December, and the first 10 days of January. So you have a long time to take advantage of a discount of 2%. So anytime I pay my bill, anytime before January, up to January 10th, I get a 2% discount. The credit period, again, on an EOM, the credit period is always going to be 20 days later or January 30th. All right, so I just want to make sure you know that. Now, if you look at your calendar, you know this. January has 31 days in it. So it's really not the end of January, it's January 30th. So it's always 20 more days from the discount period on an EOM. Okay, I hope that helps. The next one I wanted to go through is problem number 12. No, I'm going to skip that one. Let's do problem number 14. Sorry, I just changed my mind on one. I have all these notes in front of me. I'm changing my mind as I go. So problem number 14, just want to have you do some practice with these. So once again, these are just figuring the invoice dates. So we have an invoice date, and on this one here, we have an ROG on here. All right? So we have an ROG, and the terms of trade we have is this. So again, the invoice date is January 10th. The receipt of goods on this one was February 3rd. And the terms of trade are 4/10, net 30, ROG. All right. Anytime you see an ROG, don't worry about the invoice date. Go off of this date here. So in the terms of trade here, the discount period is going to end 10 days from February 3rd. Or the discount period on this one ends February 13th. Okay. 20 days from February 13th is going to be, 30 days. 20 days from February 13th, use your table, it's going to be March 5th. So the credit period on this one is going to end on March 5th, which is, I'm looking at my table, guys, it looks like it's going to be day 64. Okay. All right, so those are some terms of trade. All right, some other things I wanted to do with you again. I'm going to move on to a couple more just problems. If you would go to problem number 16. Problem number 16. Okay, number 16, here we go. I'm on the same page here. So on number 16, what we have here, if we have an item that costs $600, we have no freight. We have the date of the invoice, which is August 1. Kind of looks like a chain discount. That's my invoice date. My terms of trade on this one is 3/10, 2/15, net 30. We want to know the amount of our cash discount. And again, we made payment on this one. I mean, to make that sure we're clear on that one. We made payment on August 13th. All right, so that's what I have in that problem. I'm just reading off the page. All right, so again, the discount period here. Again, it looks like it's ordinary dating. We get a 3% discount if we made a payment within the first 10 days. If we missed the first 10 days, which it looks like we did, because 10 days from August 1st would be August 10th. That's easy. So I missed the 3% discount, but if you pay it within the next 5 days, which would bring us up to August 15th, I can get a 2% discount, and I made a payment on August 13th, so it looks like I get a 2% discount. If I miss both of these, by the way, I have to pay the full amount, and I have 30 days from August 1st to make that payment. So obviously I got this nice 2% discount. Again, how much do I have to pay? What's the amount of the discount? I'm always looking to see how much we have to pay. So my invoice is $600. I'm going to do quickly again using the complement of 2%. It's 0.98. If you take 600 times 0.98, you get, looks like 588 is your payment. If the problem clearly wants to know what's the amount of your discount, okay, you can do that. 600 times the amount of my discount, or $12. Either way, my discount plus my net should equal the 600. So again, that's one that I just kind of wanted to share with you. One more that I'd like to go to, and then I need to wrap this up too. I'm looking at problem number 32. Yes. All right, 32 in your book. Let's go to a word problem. So I'm going to switch my paper here. I would like to tackle a word problem here with you. So again, one I'm going to is problem number 32. It's a word problem. I'm on page 204. So let me read this to you. We've got Bally Manufacturing sent Intel Corporation an invoice for machinery, and the invoice is at $14,000 for machinery. That's the list. All right, that's our list price. Bally dated the invoice, so the date on the invoice is July 23rd. It has a terms of trade. It looks like 210. Oh, I love this one. 210 EOM, end of month. Okay. And also they're getting a, also they're offering a trade discount. I'll put that right here. A trade discount of also 40%. Oh, that's pretty good. A 40% trade discount on top of it. And again, they make a payment. I'm just rearranging some information here on August 5th. All right, so that's what we got going on in this problem. The invoice is a list price of $14,000. It offers a trade discount of 40%. It also offers a cash discount, which is an EOM, and it looks like Intel made a payment on August 5th. So the bottom line is, what does Intel owe? What is their bottom line payment? Okay, so a couple things. I'm going to start with the trade discount because those are fun. The invoice amount is again $14,000. Okay. I want to know what is the price of their item here after the trade discount. So if they get a 40% discount on $14,000, what I can do is I can take the complement of 40% and use that to apply that to the list price. So the complement of 40% is 1 minus 0.40 or 0.60. Remember that? So I'm going to take 40,000 times the complement to apply that trade discount, 0.60. And when I do that, I am down now, as far as my list price, to $8,400. So I've taken my trade discount off the top. So now here's my current net price for my my machinery, $8,400. All right, now I can also apply my cash discount now. So again, let's look at the cash discount. My new net price is $8,400. It's a 210 EOM. So I'm going to do a little something here. So on an EOM, I'm always going to look at the date of my invoice. If it's on or before the 25th of the month, my discount period will end the next month, which is August 10th. Okay, that's the end of my discount period. It's an EOM. It's always going to end on the 10th. The question is, which month? Since my invoice is before the 25th, it's going to be on August 10th, the next month. By the way, the end of my credit period on this one here will end, credit period ends, 30 days later, or August 30th. It doesn't ask that, but I always like to think about it. So he made a payment here on August 5th. Did he get a discount? Yes, he did. So here's our new list price of $8,400. Take this $8,400 here, that's his new net, times the complement of that discount, or 0.98, right? And if you take the complement of that $8,400 times 0.98, we know that he owes them now $8,232. So there you have it, all of those in one problem. Now, if there were freight involved, but unfortunately there's not, I would now add the freight after I got that number. Okay? So again, that was problem number 32. Let me look at one more question here before I close out on this video. Okay. I think I'm going to end there. I just want to share with you a couple other things. Again, these are posted in Blackboard. If you are still fuzzy on the terms of trade, this sheet is in Blackboard. It kind of gives you a rundown of all the various types of terms of trade. It says here's an ordinary date, here's the invoice date. I've given you the dates associated on that exact days in a year calendar. This would be the ends of the discount period given these terms of trade. This is when the final bill is due, or the end of the credit period. So this is just kind of a review. Notice too that the only one you see information for this column would be if it's an ROG. On an ROG, you always have two dates, the invoice date and the date the goods were received. So notice that on any of your problems. If you have an ROG terms of trade, just forget this date and start with that date. All right? Okay, I'm looking at the video and I'm getting close to end of class time, it looks like, if this was a class. So again, I encourage you to go back, go through your Connect problems, review that, maybe review this. Again, this was all about cash discounts. Things to remember, closing up here, is that cash discounts are provided to encourage prompt payments. That's why we have various terms of trade. All of these are some form of a discount if they're paid before the end of the credit period. This one, first 10 days, 10 days, looks like all of these are the first 10 days. But again, cash discounts can be 60 days in length, like you see on this one. They can be 30 days. They can be EOMs. On an EOM, they're always going to end on the 10th. It's just a matter of what month. Again, this invoice came out before the 25th on this EOM, so it's going to be due the next month on the 10th. This invoice here came out after the 25th, so on this EOM, you're going to get the rest of October, all of November, and then the first 10 days of December. So anyway, I hope that helps you guys. Spend some time in Connect, and spend some time on the videos. I've got one more video. It's quite short, actually. One more concept in this chapter I want to make sure you know about. So I'm going to close this out. Good luck. Get into Connect and start cranking through those problems. Also remember, you have check figures at the back of your book for, I think it's the odd number. So even if you do the problems in your book, you have check figures in the appendix at the back of the book. All right. Anyway, I hope to see you all again on video number 3. Thank you.